Good morning, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. I'm just hanging out with Lyra, drinking my coffee. Woke up a little bit later than I wanted to today. I do have to stop in my work and finish up a computer that I was trying to set up. I need it set up before tomorrow. So hopefully the alarm system isn't activated at the school, because I don't know why anyone would be going in on a Sunday or have any reason to go in on a Sunday. But yeah, I'm gonna finish drinking my coffee, probably take a shower and go head over there. It's been super nice out. It's finally starting to cool down. Right now it's probably 65, 70, and it's going on like 9 o'clock. So we're starting to hit that really good time of year where it's just nice in the morning, and then it still gets pretty hot during the day. I did give up on my little mini garden beds that I had. Don't mind all this junk everywhere. I'm gonna pick that up today. Oh my gosh, what is that huge? There's like a huge eagle or something that just flew across the sky. I'm not gonna lie, guys, things have been pretty dang hard. And it sucks. Kiddo, we had to put our dog Kiddo to sleep. She was very much in the decline. Pretty much, it happened pretty rapidly where she just totally declined, like with her mobility and everything. She's 16, so definitely up there. An older dog, but it was really difficult to watch. I mean, we had to basically pick her up, bring her outside to go potty, and it was really tough. So we made that decision because her quality of life at that point was just not the greatest. And she stopped eating and drinking, so Kiddo is no longer with us, and she's been with Andy his whole life, her whole life, half of his life, and she's been in our life for a long time too. So it's never easy losing a pet, and I think Kiddo was definitely a special pet. She had a lot of unique quirks and she was a cat dog. She was super, she's Chow Chow Lab, so she had a lot of Chow Chow traits, and then she had some fun like lab traits, and was just an overall really good dog. Definitely took time to warm up to you type of dog, but she's just a sweet dog. That dog used to steal food all the time. Kiddo has eaten. We've had a lot of like food scares with her. In the past, she snatched up chicken wings, and we panicked about that. We took her to the vet over chicken wings a couple times. She ate whole chicken bones. Like I was saying, I've been interrupted a couple times, so I had to pause this video, but yeah, she's recovered. Like, her stomach must have been made of steel, because she always, like, it never affected her. She's eaten full sticks of butter. She ate like nearly a whole pizza one time, and this was when she was younger, like years ago. But yeah, she is a fun dog. I remember one time we were taking her to the park with us, and she jumped out the window, and nobody, we weren't expecting that. Obviously, if we thought she was going to jump out the window, we would have secured her a little bit better, but she had a pretty high prey drive, so she saw like a bunny. We passed this field where there was a bunch of bunnies, and she saw them and jumped out and tried to get them. So that was also crazy. We had a lot of like crazy times with her. Unfortunately, her and Lyra like did not get along. I mean, they got along well. They could be around together, but Lyra, they have got in a few fights because Lyra is reactive, and Lyra is the type of dog that has the insecurity where if another dog comes up or is too close to her or sniffs her, she'll snap at them, she'll attack them. So unfortunately that happened with Kiddo. Sometimes Kiddo would instigate those things and growl at her and make Lyra feel more threatened. So that kind of sucked, and I feel super bad for all those times where they got in fights. But it's very weird not having Kiddo around because she's been around for so long. And we miss her a lot. We did get her ashes returned to us and everything, and it's very depressing. I don't even like seeing the ashes. It's like I'd rather just not have the ashes, but it's more for Andy. I just don't like that idea of, she was a dog and now she's reduced to ashes. It's just like something so depressing about it to me. So yeah, we've all been kind of going through the grieving process with that. Well, not kind of. We have been grieving over the loss of Kiddo. We've had a lot of animal losses. It really sucks. That's part of the nature of owning animals, though. Alright, anyway, got interrupted again, but yeah, it's really tough. Lost Kiddo. The other day, another thing that happened recently. Okay, so a couple things. Now we have my niece's 2 leopard geckos. They're in Sydney's room. So we have 3 leopard geckos because they travel a lot and they're busy, and so they asked if we wanted them because they're not able to care for them. So we went ahead and took in those leopard geckos. I'll probably make a video about them. But they're in 2 separate 20-gallon long tanks. I do want to set up a bioactive enclosure for both of them. But, oh my gosh, I don't have the money for the tanks right now. So I'm saving up the money to get them their supplies. And I know it's like, why are you taking on more when you can barely afford life right now? But it's like, leopard geckos really are pretty low maintenance, and I think they'll be fine until I get that set up. Like, they've already been in the improper setup for a while, so I think they'll be okay until we get that set up. But I'm just gonna get them. What I want to do is just get them to stackable, like 40-gallon front opening tanks, because my daughter barely has any room in her bedroom with them. And if I can just stack all of those in the corner for her, she'll have more space. So yeah, the only thing with stacking them is if I'm going to do bioactive, it has to be not too heavy, because I don't know. We'll have to consider the weight. The weight. So yeah, I love the leopard geckos. They're really cool pets. They're low maintenance. They're good to have if you have dogs and other pets, because they're just in their enclosure most of the time. And you can take them out and hang out with them, and they're pretty chill. They're fun to look at, fun to feed. I think people often don't get the right setup for them, or don't do their research on nutrition or food that they need. So unfortunately, a lot of them do end up with poor living conditions. But when my niece got them, I had to go over there because she had them both in like a 10-gallon tank together. So I upgraded her tanks to 20-gallon longs and separated them, because you're not supposed to cohab leopard geckos. They will fight each other and there will be injuries. Some people say like, oh yeah, mine have been together forever, they haven't had any issues. Cool, but I wouldn't risk it. So they're currently in separate setups. they don't have UVB lights. That's another thing. I need to get UVB, proper heat light. They do have, another thing I got was the dimmer for both of them for my niece when she had them, because the tanks are smaller. You don't want them being blasted with that full heat. It's gonna just be an oven in there, and you still want to try and achieve that temperature gradient with them. So the dimmer has been helpful because I just put the light on one side. Oh my gosh, my voice is cracking. I'm starting to get hit with the allergies. Gonna take a shower after this. So yeah, that's another thing. Got the geckos. I really don't know what to do for panini. It's so hard. Guys, please don't get an American bullfrog. Don't get the tadpole kits. I know they still sell them, and maybe they changed the type of frog, because I wasn't even supposed to get an American bullfrog. It was supposed to be a leopard frog, which is like not too much better than a bullfrog, honestly, but it is a little bit better because they're smaller frogs. Don't get a bullfrog. Don't get they're not good pets. Unless you have a pond that you can put them in your backyard. It's just really difficult to get a good setup, and I cannot hand feed Panini because she'll jump all over the place. Like, she's not there's no way to tame them, you know, like, she's not gonna sit there and eat for me. So they jump really high, really far. They need the half land, half water setup. The water needs to be pretty deep. They need to be able to swim in it, which brings me to my next point of starting to build the pond again, because I need to get that going for Bubbles and for Panini. And now is the time to do it again because the weather is so nice. And we also, this is a highlight, we got a lot of rain. I mean a lot, like places flooded. We haven't had that much rain in Arizona in a while, so we had a lot of rain, which made the ground softer. So I should be able to start digging out the pond. Like, I really want to actually make this pond pretty far and pretty deep, because I kind of want the dogs to be able to swim in it. Hi, girl. What you doing? She wants to go back inside now. But that's, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, but at least I want to build it pretty big. Ozponds inspired me to do a swimming pond. I love his setups, but do you think I'd be able to dig that much? Heck no, man. This ground is still pretty rocky and difficult to dig, so I'm trying to figure out how I can make the pond hole as big as possible, and if there's better tools I can use than a shovel, or a better way to do it with no money. So yeah, for Panini, I'm concerned because she's just not getting enough nutrition, and I put dubia roaches in her land portion. I put a whole egg crate of dubia roaches in her land portion just to make sure she has tons of them to eat, because she hunts on land, which is another thing. She only goes on land at night to eat, and so I'm asleep at night, so I can't like sit up and just she's just a really difficult pet. And I've tried, the thing with the dubia roaches is they'll like hide themselves under the dirt, and if she can't see them, which she can't, she's kind of just like a derp. That's why crickets are good for her, but crickets aren't as good for her and can cause sorry guys, can cause impaction. So I try and avoid crickets. Not to mention, I can't really keep crickets like I can keep dubia roaches. I have my whole colony, so it's easier to feed. I don't want to go to the store and get the Petco crickets all the time, because that starts to get pricey. And also, they stink, and I just have a lot of beef against crickets. But occasionally I'll get them for her. yeah, so dubia roaches, worms, but the worms it's just hard, okay? Because all the little critters, like I have the feeding dishes for her. You just gotta time it right to make sure she's actually getting the food. And then I also have to dust her food with vitamins. She doesn't have any UVB source right now. Oh yeah, so what happened the other day, this past week? I swear it's just one bad thing after the next. My daughter was in the hospital, not this past week, but before this. That's the whole story. So we were recovering from that, and then kiddo passed away, and then, one thing after the next. I didn't pass my classes again, so I still haven't graduated with my associates, which is I have all the credits for an associate's, but not for this degree. So, still in school, still trying to get that done. I just keep getting things, happening. Oh, and then Andy doesn't have he quit his job, so it's like we're really struggling for money more than ever before. Like, we're okay, we're getting by, but it's really, really tough right now. I have a job interview this week that is about a $6 or $7 pay raise if I were to get it, which would be tremendously helpful for us right now. So I'm hoping that I get it, but I'm not holding my breath because I'm also very bad at interviewing. So I'm hoping I'm having a good low anxiety day, and you guys see how scatterbrained I am all the time. So imagine how I am in interviews. Answering questions is kind of a nightmare for me because it's hard for me to stay on track, as is apparent with my videos. But that's not even what happened this past week. What happened this past week, I woke up to smoke everywhere. First of all, my alarm didn't go off, so I woke up late. So I was panicked because I was going to be late for work, like later than I had ever been for work. And I had to take the kids to school, wake them up, make sure they were ready. And I wake up and I'm smelling like this electrical smelling, like chemical smelling, and there's smoke everywhere in the house. And so that's another panic, so I'm looking everywhere. I go to our dryer because our dryer's been having issues lately, and my daughter put her backpack in there the night before to dry. So I was thinking, did her backpack melt in the dryer or something? So I go there first. It's not the dryer. So I'm like, okay, where is this coming from? I don't know where the source of it is. Well, I go downstairs. My kids were already awake, thank goodness. They were outside, not breathing in the chemicals. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right, that was loud. Oh my gosh, there must be an accident like right around the corner. Anyway, so the kids are all already outside, and I'm grateful for that because I don't want them breathing in whatever is going on with the chemicals. I open the doors, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start unplugging everything. So I unplug everything, and it ends up being one of the power strips by my fish tanks had exploded. So I, find the source. It's one of my power strips, and it had completely fried, and I went to go unplug it. There were sparks flying everywhere. It looked like it exploded. There had to be some type of power misconfig where it just wasn't, I don't know, power surge or something. We had I want to say 4 days before that, a brief power blip for this whole area, and I wondered if that kind of messed up stuff. But all my other power strips were fine, so maybe it was just that power strip. So everything that was on that power strip literally melted. Like the power strip was melting. And luckily all my fish, shrimp, and everything were fine. Because I know people have said before, like I've seen on Facebook groups and everything, my fish groups on there, that the water heaters that they have, like the submersible ones, will sometimes explode. And I'm like, did that happen? But it didn't. And people will sometimes have those, like, those will kind of have some issues, and then there will be some electrical issues with them, and all their fish will basically get electrocuted and die. So I'm like, did that happen? Luckily it didn't. But unfortunately, my I've been interrupted like 50 times during this video. That's why I need to wake up earlier so I can do these. But anyway, everything that was on that power strip, I lost my filter for my bigger tank, my 30-something gallon tank. My light has been destroyed, and I liked that light. It was the Stingray one. No longer have that because the whole cable melted. Like literally melted. It was crazy. It looked like something out of a Cronenberg film, which is appropriate because it's almost Halloween. And I'm glad everything was okay and I found that. So there's that. I lost, like filter. Ironically enough, the actual submersible heater was still intact for that. So I pretty much lost everything attached to that tank. And then, the pump too. And then the pump for the tank below it was plugged in there. I think the light is still good on the one below it. I'm not sure though. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, I'm not going to be able to replace all of that stuff, so I'm just going to have to try and keep my tank cycled as best as I can. I'm just going to have to try and keep my tank cycled as best as I can. Doing little water changes. I'm going to see if I have another extra spare pump in my garage to at least get some aeration with the air stones. I swear, all you need is an air stone most of the time for your tank, and that will keep things going. And then just, if you don't have a filter, try and do little water changes, weekly water changes. So I'm gonna do that until I can get another filter. I just had a hang-on back filter, and then I have the under gravel filter for that tank, and it was doing really well. Like all the plants are out of control in there. I just have a lot of expenses right now, and that's another reason why I'm really hoping I get this job this week, because I need something good to happen, because I've had just one bad thing after the next, and I swear it feels like I'm cursed. Like I went to work the other day when it was raining, and I only had one windshield wiper as it is, and the other one flew off. So then I had no windshield wipers. And it's just little things like that, where it's like kind of comical. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? But yeah, I'm trying to focus on the positive. My lemon tree over there is looking really good. My bonsai tree is looking good inside. And my grape plant, my grape over here, that I thought was totally destroyed because the dogs actually like chewed the plant up. Here's my grape. Wait, no, it's right here. Here's my grape, and look it. I have like another shoot of grape that's growing. So, and then I wonder if this is more of that type of horn melon. It kind of looks like the horn melon. So that's kind of cool too. But, I've had a lot of setbacks, and I feel like I was really excited a little bit earlier this year because I'm like, sweet, my job is pretty stable, Andy's job is stable. We're gonna have like a good holiday holiday this year. I'm gonna go all out for Halloween because I love the holidays. And I wanted to, like, decorate our garage and everything, but there's just no money for anything. So just basically having to pay bills and we're behind on some of the bills, and so now we're playing the catch up, and Andy did add, another good thing, Andy recently got a job, but it's just now the catch up, because we'll have to wait for that paycheck to come in, and it's just another thing where it's going to cause a lot of issues with, like, the schedule that we had, because it's really hard when you have kids and everything, to get in a good flow and a good rhythm when two people are working. Like, who's going to take the kids to school? What are we doing for this? And we were in a good flow, and so now we have to rework that flow, and already, like, I'm going to have to change some things around my schedule, and then if I get this new job, it's just a lot of changes and finding a good rhythm again, and I hate finding a good rhythm when we're at the end of the year, and I just want to enjoy the holidays, enjoy spending time with my family, and I can't do that because of all the changes, and at the end of the day, things could always be a lot worse. So I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that I'm pretty healthy and my kids are healthy, and we're not doing great financially, but we're all able to eventually get to a good place again. So there's always something to be grateful for. And I always tell myself, some people are struggling way worse. Things could be a lot worse. We have a house, and generally right now, things are just expensive, I went to buy coffee this morning, and for a little bag of coffee, it's like $12. Like, this is coffee that I usually get. And if it's not on sale, it's like, forget about it, because that's like double the price that it usually is. So coffee must have gone up recently or something. And I'm not like a huge coffee drinker, but I do like to drink at least 1 cup in the morning. But yeah, groceries are just as expensive as ever. And then our electric is going up. Prices are just going up. They're not going down. So it's really tough. But definitely do want to start on my pond area. Gonna do it right here. And I'm excited. I need to get these dogs to dig for me. Gonna probably expand it out a little bit, maybe a little bit farther. I don't know, we'll see. I was thinking, man, if I would have been smart and strategic planting this lemon tree, I would have planted it to align with that window right there on the bottom, because then it could give us some shade. I guess I could always dig it out and move it over a little bit, but anyway, I'm gonna cut it off there. Lyra wants to go in. I gotta take a shower, go on with my day, plan for the week, get over to the school, try to get that done. And I hope you guys are having a better year. I really hope that we end this year on a high note. And I hope all of you end the year on a good note with whatever you guys are dealing with. Hopefully having a good time and able to work on your projects and hobbies. But alright, anyway, I'm gonna cut it off there. Hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.